Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the inaugural episode of The Tappin'. This is a podcast that me and my co-host Julius have decided to start. If you have watched my other podcast, Beyond the Blacktop, he was a guest on one of our episodes, and we talked about soccer, and we had such a great time that we was like, "Yo, let's create our own podcast about nothing but soccer."
It's time to do it.
Yeah, we
We've
was
been
like,
talking about it for long enough.
might as well, right? So to kick things off, I would explain to y'all how I got into this soccer thing, and then Julius tell you how he got into it. But so my oldest brother Sean was a huge soccer guy. That was like one of his main sports. Soccer and basketball is what he was great at. He was on a traveling soccer team, traveled over
Oh
the
wow.
United States and whatnot. He had a few stories to tell while I was growing up that sounded really cool. Him and my brother Alex would play FIFA all the time, and I would watch them play. And it always looked fun. And eventually, I started playing it, and it was even more fun. And they was always going on about how Lionel Messi was that dude. He was that guy, all these players. And then, so I would always pay attention from afar. I'd always pay attention to who was doing good, who was in the leading for the whatchamacallit, the Ballon d'Or. And I never really had a team. So this year, for my other podcast, Beyond the Blacktop, both my co-hosts, Cody and Brian, are not very much into the soccer scene. So I challenged all of us to choose a team in the Premier League and follow it over the course of the season so that we can be more ingrained into the sport. Because,
Like
at the same time I've been getting them into FIFA, and they've been loving it. So that's always been a fun time. And then Julius and his friend Mateo asked me to choose a team, and I chose Aston Villa, as you can see. And so now I'm just
Okay.
enjoying the ride of being a soccer fan, man. It's got its lows, let
That
me tell
Villa
you.
life.
It's got these lows, bro. And I know lows, bro. I'm a Chicago Bears fan.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
that's a little bit about my journey into this sport. And I'm sure yours is probably much more deeper than mine. So,
Not. I mean, listen. I'm first off. Anybody that knows me, I'm Dominican. Dominicans don't play soccer.
they
We're
play that
we're known for baseball.
baseball.
Yeah, baseball. So it makes zero sense that I'm so into soccer, but I am. My friend that you referenced, Mateo, is Colombian. We met in high school, and over the course of our ninth grade summer, like after that first year, we watched the 2010 World Cup, and I would go over to his house. He would tell me about all these players that I had never heard of. I mean, I had heard some of the big names like Ronaldo, Messi, Beckham, stuff like that, but watching game by game, especially during a World Cup, which we have one coming to us very, very soon, and hopefully,
Very exciting.
as things progress, maybe we start covering that as well. But there's just something so passionate about football or soccer that I didn't really get from any of the other sports that I had seen. I was into basketball, I was into football, I've watched some baseball, but there was something about soccer that just drew me in. I think the fact that it's so back and forth, it's nonstop, and I know a lot of people will say, "Oh, but it's so low scoring." I think that's some of the appeal because it's a build up where is it going to happen? Oh my God. And then that's why you have those extreme reactions and those iconic moments because let's be honest, in a basketball game, okay, back and forth, back and forth. There's some great plays
Mm-hmm.
and there's some amazing like dunks or if Curry goes crazy from the 3-point line, it's nice, but it happens all the damn time. For
Right.
me in soccer, I just got drawn in and that anticipation is really what drew me in. And yeah, after he introduced me to that World Cup, which 2010 I want to say was in South Africa, Spain won. I fell in love with how that Spain team won, and so I started watching Barcelona because a lot of those players on that team played for Barcelona or Real Madrid. And In that same World Cup, I saw Messi for the first time, and I was like, oh, he's also on the same team. So I immediately became ingrained into Barcelona. But as time progressed, I kept watching Barcelona. I would watch different teams in the Prem. I would watch in Germany as well. But a certain bald fraud that I love, but some people despise. Pep Guardiola is who really I locked in on. And so after he left Barcelona and he had great success there, I kept watching Barcelona under Luis Enrique, but I followed his career into Bayern Munich in Germany and then eventually to City. I was already, a big fan of what City was doing, especially that Aguero moment. I remember watching it live when they won their first title. I think
Sorry.
and yeah, it was just so iconic. I mean, I'll be honest here. I am a Manchester City fan, and I can hear the boos from here. However, I am a great appreciator of the sport in general, so I do have players that I really like and teams that I really have an affinity for. This other than Manchester City, so I hope that I can provide um, a well-rounded perspective and try to be as objective as possible, unless we talk about Real Madrid. And then the bias might come out, but we'll see.
Oh,
We'll see.
I'm
We'll see.
sure the bias will definitely come out.
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, we're talking about this sport because we enjoy it and we're passionate. It comes
Hey,
with
yeah,
certain.
I
I mean,
agree. I would agree with you.
okay.
So, to start off this episode, we'll be having two primary topics. We'll be talking about the Premier League and we'll be talking about the Championship. Just the Champions League. Sorry, I get those two leagues
Champions
mixed up
League. It's okay. It is
sometimes.
confusing that the lower league is the championship, but
It doesn't make sense. But anyway,
you know,
that'll be our final topic today. We'll be talking about the games that happened yesterday and today. So, to start off with the Premier League, started last month, sorry. And I'll just start off with my beloved Aston Villa, or not too beloved as we can see. They are currently, I want to say, no wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses. 3 losses if you count the loss yesterday to Brentford in the Carabao
oh,
Cup. But of the Premier League, they are winless. That's all I care about. I don't care about no draw. I want wins in the win column.
for sure.
As a
For
sports
sure.
fan, even if I don't know soccer, I know that I want wins. So, it's been interesting watching this team over the course of the season because it's like this is the first time I've watched it so much, and I'm using my tactical brain to try and decipher what's going on. And it's actually kind of surprising how kind of similar it is to basketball, just without
Okay.
all the scoring. So, to put it in perspective, right? So imagine, you got your point guard at the top of the key, right? And you got your 2 big dudes down low. Maybe one's in the corner. You got your wings on the side, and you guys are passing it around to try and find a way to get to that goal. And there's different ways you can do that. You can make cuts, screens, that type of thing. And it's kind of the same in soccer, right? You got the back line who, usually comes up and they're passing the ball around, but next to them trying to find a way. They'll pass it into the center mid, and then he'll try and make a play, maybe pass it forward or make these ping passes to try. And they're trying to figure out a way to dissect this defense out.
100%.
Unless you're Aston Villa, of course. And I just thought that was, my initial thought. I was like, man, this is kind of surprising how similar it is to that in that respect. But to Aston Villa, of course. When I was doing my research on them before the season started, they were talking about how they had good young talent. They did have talent. Ollie Watkins was going to be the guy this season. They expected him to score a lot of goals. Tielemans had a great season last year. He's a good facilitator. He makes the good passes and whatnot. But I've yet to see any of that this season. And when I'm watching this team play, they don't play with any type of aggressiveness at all. They're just passing around, kind of just, maybe that could work. I don't know. They're not trying to commit to that. or they try and overplay a little bit, and they'll make a good pass, and he's got a clear line of sight to the keeper. But there's a like on the left side, he's got a clear line of sight to the keeper. I think it was Morgan's or whoever, Sancho, I think it was, and he's outside the box and he could take that shot, and he could make it or he could miss it, and it deflects off and they get a corner kick. But instead of doing that, he tries to force a pass inside to Watkins to try and give him a better shot at getting a goal. But it's immediately intercepted and taken the other way, and they're on the attack and we're on the back foot. And there's a whole lot of that going on over the course of the season. Sometimes it doesn't look like they want to be out there. They just don't play with aggressiveness. They don't play with contact very well. And they didn't score a goal until yesterday, and it's been 4 matches. And when they do get a shot on goal, it's never a good one, or they shoot it right at the keeper. And it's just frustrating when you know you got the talent, but they're not playing to that level. And I'm just like, I don't know what the problem is.
Can I give you some context? Give you some context?
I love some context.
Okay. Last season, Aston Villa were phenomenal. There was points where they were teetering in that in those Champions League spaces, like around 4th to 5th. They were very, very good, and they had some loans at the time that I think really helped push them on and give them a different dimension from an attacking point of view. They had Asensio from PSG. They had Rashford from Man United, who has now gone to Barcelona. Mm-hmm. And Watkins was firing on all cylinders. Tielemans was looking great. Your captain, John McGinn, was bossing the midfield. It was looking really, really good. And you have a great coach as well, Unai Emery. He has a pedigree. He has a pedigree. He he had a tough time in Arsenal, as people have. Well, not that many people, but we'll get to that later. But maybe we'll see what happens. But he went to Spain and had incredible success, and he's a great cup manager. He has won the Europa League many times in Spain. So I see the potential there.
Yeah.
I think after a lot of those loans left and some of the new loans that you got in, for example, you mentioned Sancho. If any Chelsea or United fans are in the chat, they know how you feel because they have been frustrated with this man for 3-4 years.
Yesterday missed a wide open goal.
Oh yeah,
right in front of me. Banged right off the left post. I was like, there wasn't even a goalie there.
My brother, I want to tell you how bad it is because Chelsea took him on loan last season, and I think it was a loan with an obligation to buy. Chelsea were so desperate to get out of it, they paid a fee to not buy, to send him back. It was that bad. It was that bad. But the reality is I think it'll take some time. It is early. You were also in the Champions League last year, and that's a high for a lot of these players, and maybe that's why they were playing to such a high extent. They had never. A lot of these players probably have never played in the Champions League before, and unfortunately, as the season progressed last year, you guys finished outside of those Champions League spots. So maybe there's a little bit of a deflation there. Plus those new recruits that may be needing time to bed in or maybe just aren't on the level of what you had last year. I'm telling you, keep the faith. Keep the faith. Because it's not over yet. And you guys have looked great in the past. So who knows?
They do look great at times. The thing that they love to do the most, and this is why it kind of so frustrating, is they love to dominate the ball. They love to keep the possession of the ball. I think for a majority of these matches, they've had the ball like 70% of the time. I know that's what it was like when they played Brentford the first time. They had the ball, I think it was 72% of the time, and Brentford only had it for 28% of the time. But when they made a mistake on the attack, Brentford got it. Counterattack, there was nothing. There was maybe Konza, I think, was out because he had gotten a red card against Newcastle. And so it was just like easy pickings at that point. and
Honestly,
a
yeah.
screamer from outside the box, and it was over from there. They just couldn't find the goal. They couldn't find the net until yesterday.
I get it. I listen. That getting hit on the counterattack is something that I have to deal with on a daily basis when it comes to a Man City fan.
That's very
That is
true.
our weakness. That's where we've been exposed last season. It's happened a couple times this season. We'll get into it, but the reality is I understand.
Yep. So
This is a support group
I'm just venting my
first
frustration.
and foremost.
Yesterday was one of the most frustrating games ever.
Tell me about yesterday. What happened?
Well, they played Brentford again. The Bees, as they're
The
called.
bees. Hmm.
Didn't they just came up from? Didn't they? They just got
Mm-mm.
promoted, or they were here last year?
No, they've been here for a
Or is
couple
that
years.
Sunderland I'm
They've
thinking of? I think I'm thinking of
Sunderland, but similar colors. It's that red and
Yeah,
white
yeah, yeah.
stripe kind of pattern. But they got promoted. I want to say like maybe 5-6 years ago, but they have had staying power for sure. They've had a couple of great attackers come through that club and move on to different
Okay.
teams like Tony back in he was a hot
Well,
prospect. He
Ivan
was
Tony?
great. Ivan Tony,
Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
Arsenal wanted him. Man United flirted with the idea of taking him, which maybe they would be in a better spot than they are now. But he ended up choosing the money and going to Saudi, which is generational wealth, is what
Yeah.
the Saudi Arabian teams are basically offering. And then you guys then Brentford had Embuemo and Wissa, who just this season moved on to different teams,
Yeah.
United and Newcastle. So
So they did play better yesterday than I've seen them play in a while. They did get a goal. Now I was excited when it happened. I was at work and I was listening to it, and then I hear the because I'm over there cleaning something. I hear the announcers starting. Oh, they got a chance, and I walk back over as fast as I can. I'm looking, and then it was I forgot the striker's name, but it was this light skinned bald dude in the striker position. I can't remember his name right now, but
for Brentford,
for Aston Villa. I
oh, for
can't.
Aston Villa,
Yeah, for Aston Villa. Here, let's see if I
I'll
can.
tell you right now.
I got Fight Mob pulled up. I can look. Not Ollie Watkins. Malin. Danielle.
Malin, yeah,
He was in the striker
yeah,
position,
yeah.
and I didn't see the whole play, but all I saw was that the ball barely dribbled past the goalie. Like he missed it and it like barely dribbled in, and I was like,
Yeah.
yes. But then at the same time, I was like, bro, but it barely made it in, and it kind of looked accidental. and I
Those
was,
are hard ones to celebrate. Where you're happy, you're up, hopefully.
yep.
But like, was
I
it
was like,
intentional?
it was a struggle to get that one, and it barely went in. And then not even like 5 minutes later, Brentford scores a great goal, a strike from pretty far, not pretty far, but a decent distance away. And then we
Outside the
end
box.
up going to penalties and only scoring 3 penalty shots. They blocked the very first one from McGinn, who shot the slowest dribbler. It wasn't too slow, but it was like
Yeah.
it was a slow ball on the ground to the left corner, and he easy batted it away. And then the other one, I think I saw it was the same. It was on the left side again. Maybe it was a little bit in the air, but he still got to that, and they didn't miss a single one. So I was just like,
Yeah.
this is rough going. All my teams suck at this point. At this moment, there's hope on the horizon. Bears suck. The Cubs don't suck though. Shout out to them to making the World Series, not World Series, the playoffs. But that's not what we're here to talk about.
Okay. Hold on. I watched the Bears game. Yeah, they got demolished
They did get
by the
demolished.
Lions.
Yes.
But I had a Dunze on my fantasy team, and
He
he
had
did
the
great.
game. You know,
I'm happy about that.
this is a football podcast, technically.
It's still football. We're just talking about a different kind of football.
Well, man, that's enough
But I
about
feel you.
my woes. You
Okay. Okay.
guys, Man City, are doing pretty good, decently enough. I
Okay.
had one
Yeah.
bad game that I saw. I think you guys lost to a surprising team. I think was it Brentford?
Okay.
Or who was that?
No. So
Was it Everton? Sorry.
Let me just give some context.
All right.
So
We need context.
when I went on your other show, Beyond the Pitch, not Beyond the Pitch, Beyond the Blacktop, I was high. I was high on life because we had a major rebuild. First off, we have had a sustained period of success, and I've enjoyed it.
Hmm.
But even when we won our last league 2 years ago, there was cracks starting to appear. We were getting hit on transition. It was looking a little shaky defensively, which is something that we were very defensively solid. That was kind of one of our things when we won the treble. But last year we got outright exposed. We had terrible points where, you know, we could not string a series of victories together. We had Roger out, who is basically the powerhouse of our midfield. And if you've ever seen a Pep Guardiola team, the midfield is probably the most important thing.
Hmm.
It's similar to what you were saying with Emery. It's that Spaniard style of possession play. You're trying to hold the ball, recycle, bait people in to lunge at your attacker, and cross quickly to someone that might have ran into space. For example, our Holland. Um, the situation is that we have become very defensively frail, and especially last year when we didn't have Rodri, we were getting exposed left and right. We made some major signings in January to fill that hole in midfield with Nico Gonzalez. We also got a couple defenders who, you know, struggled. There was some flashes of like, oh, Mr. Kusanov, you're not looking too bad, and then there you gave up a penalty. Okay, so we were on the struggle boat last year, without a doubt. And when I went on your podcast, we won our first game decisively, 4-0 against Wolves, and I could not be higher.
Demolished.
I was feeling it. I was like, "Whoa, we got this young kid named Cherky from France. He's looking great." Lo and behold, he's out for like a month or two now.
Damn.
Well, yeah, Foden, who was the
Phil
player of the
Foden.
season.
Sorry.
Phil Foden, yeah, you got it. Listen, Mr. 47, listen, he was the player of the league. He was the Prem's player of the year. In 2023. 2024, he ghosted. He disappeared. Completely disappeared. He said there was some personal stuff going on in his
Hold
life.
on. Sorry.
Never got it. We don't know. There's a couple young kids. Don't know.
Hold on.
No, you're good.
You just lagged like crazy. Sorry.
Oh, it's happened a couple times on your end too.
Oh, it's fine. If it happens, if
Okay.
you see it, it's fine. If I see it, it's not good. That's what.
Okay.
So you're good to go now.
Okay. So we don't know what happened, but he ghosted. And we Holland was still firing up there, but he wasn't getting the service that he needed. My favorite player in all of as long as I've been watching Man City, Kevin De Bruyne was it. He was my guy.
Oh, dimes all day. Sorry.
Listen, we talked about FIFA before. That's my spirit animal. That's who I try to be in FIFA.
But, hey,
I ain't.
That's a good
I ain't all the time.
animal, man.
But sometimes I got some dimes once in a while.
Yep.
Anyways, so we're going through a transition where a lot of our guys who gave us that sustained period of success needed to be replaced, and we needed a refresh. This is that season. So Wolves, we looked great. We had Reinders going off. He looked like, whoa, he might be the signing of the season. And Holland was scoring. It was looking good. But then we ran into our bogey team. And this might sound like copium, but if anyone knows City, we have always struggled against Tottenham, even when they were at their worst. There is a reason.
Spurs.
Yes, the Spurs, and if we talk about it, the Spurs are a different kind of Spurs now.
Oh yeah.
They changed their head coach. They went from Ange Postecoglou to Frank, and he has them organized. They're looking nice. They are currently third in the league.
They are. They are
That's
legit.
wild. Like, yeah, they won the Europa, but okay. Not many of us would have betted on that because they were known as the bottlers, basically, where they get really close and then they just can't see it through. But anyways, we ran into them. We got killed. Against Brighton, similar to what you were saying about the counterattack killing you. You leave space in behind, a ball over the top comes, you get a pacey winger, and you're done.
Mhm.
So we lost 2 on the bounce, and then we had this international break, and I was dreading this Manchester derby. I was because
Get
you
out of
know
here, bro. Man United is not that good.
you say that, and that is typically true. They're coming off their worst season ever, but they show up against their noisy neighbors.
That's fair. That makes
They do
sense.
it. They do it. They've knocked us out. Was it last year? No, it was the year before. They knocked us out in the FA Cup. Despite them being in their worst possible position, they are still winning things. They're still winning cups on the regular. Almost every other year, they're winning a cup, Carabao or FA. They came very close to winning the Europa. If Spurs hadn't broken their curse, it would have been United, and then they would be in the Champions League right now. So I was filled with dread. But man,
Y'all whoop that ass.
we spanked that ass. And I was so happy about it. Because, first off, the person who I've been worried about for the time and someone who we need to step up, Phil Foden, scores the opening goal.
Oh, he was
And
all
not
over
just
the
that,
place.
bro,
He
he
was all
was
over the place.
boss in the midfield. And we haven't seen that Phil Foden for at least maybe 18 months because there
He
was
was making
flashes
good
last year.
passes too. Sorry.
Dude, he clinical, and that's what we need, especially with our creative hub gone, Kevin De
Mm-hmm.
Bruyne. This is his opportunity to take this team by the scruff of his neck. He's born and raised in Stockport, which is just in the shadow of Manchester. Might be a suburb of Manchester. He's a lifelong City fan, so we need him to lead this team. And 5'7", he gets a crazy header that goes across the goalkeeper, which the goalkeeping at United right now very questionable, very suspect. I think they were using Bayindir, or yeah, I believe that's his name, and he's the sub because they just got rid of Onana, and I think they just got some random Belgium keeper from Belgium. So they're a shambles, and I could do 20 minutes on
We ain't got that
because
kind of time.
I know. I'm focused on City. I'm trying to give you the context. But the reality is they also went through a rebuild and they have weapons now and they've looked good despite not getting results. So I wasn't too sure. And then Foden hits soon thereafter. My Viking King,
Yep.
Holland, quick little chip over the goalkeeper. Beautiful. This is what I want to see. This is what
Didn't
I need in my life.
didn't Phil Foden pass him that, or am I?
I think he might have gotten the assist. It's
Yeah,
very possible.
because I'm pretty. It
And
got.
then
I think it got deflected and it landed right next to him. Not sure.
it like ran into his path, or like it got in front of the defender and he was able to bypass the defender.
Yeah.
We talked about it. You were like, is he that fast?
Yeah, he is that
He
fast.
is. It's just he hasn't had the service to expose that. But the
Mm-hmm.
third goal, phenomenal. Way into space. It went over everybody, and he just was in on goal and just he made it look zen, baby. It was good. It was good.
Beautiful.
And I was really happy with our goalkeeper as well, which we just got Donnarumma from PSG,
He's looking
and he
good.
put in a show. Yeah.
He's
A
6'8",
lot of
so
people. Oh, yeah. The frame of. He's ridiculous. It's outlandish how big he is.
huge.
But, yeah, huge. But, there was a lot of worry about him not being. At the end of the day, he is keeping the ball out of our net. Let's hope this is the first of many good performances and clean sheets. That's what I need in my life. Not to worry, I already have enough grace.
Hey man, I'm gonna get a lot following this team. It feels like because there
It's
ain't no
listen.
clean sheets. Well, there are.
I
There's
know.
two, but they were ties. So do those
Yeah,
really count?
I mean, nobody's scoring. It feels like nobody's winning.
Fair
And
enough.
then, just to let you know where we're at right now, we're currently recording on the 17th, which is Wednesday night.
Yep.
Tomorrow, we have our first Champions League game. And who are we going to face? We're going to face Napoli. And
Saw that.
who's on Napoli now?
Kevin De
Kevin De
Bruyne.
Bruyne. The king is going to come home. I believe it's at the Etihad. I have to look.
He's gonna
But
dissect y'all. Nah, I'm just kidding.
I'm worried.
He
I'm worried
could.
again
It's
because
possible.
he has looked great in Napoli. Was he too old? I,
What
I
is he
don't know.
like? 35?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
younger.
yeah.
Can't
Maybe.
remember.
I think like 35. I think that's a safe bet.
He's got the golden boot, man. He got that pass in him still. Who knows?
He's amazing. He's phenomenal. He's a technician. He's a surgeon.
All right, but I feel like outside of our teams, the teams that are really making splashes in the Premier League gotta be the top three: Arsenal, Liverpool, and Tottenham Hotspurs.
Yes, sir.
Liverpool had one
Yes, sir.
of my favorite matches of the year with Newcastle. It was one of the craziest games I've ever seen in my life. That assist from the goalkeeper
Dude,
in
the
like the
Isak custody
89th
battle.
minute,
Mm-hmm.
crazy as hell.
Yes.
And then what was it? The final goal was by that 16-year-old off the left wing. I don't know if he was.
Rio,
And
dude.
Salah hit the walk over the ball and it went past it, and the keeper had no clue. He was like, "You over there?" And it was Raps back in the
Shouldn't you
net.
be in school right now, young man? Yeah, and he put them to the sword.
But yeah,
It
that
was
was a
great game.
physical game. One of the most
Oh,
physical games I've
100%.
seen. There were so many fouls.
Yeah. Yeah, there was fouls. There was that red card from Gordon
Bogus red
where he
card,
like
man.
he
What?
like scraped the hell out of like Van Dyke's calf. Like it was bad. You know, I mentioned it before. It was the Isak custody battle, and basically it was just really almost perfectly scheduled
Mm-hmm.
to kind of coincide with what was happening off the pitch with Isak, the striker from Newcastle, formerly of Newcastle, about to go to Liverpool and kind of sitting it out and almost being on strike, like
Right.
we talked about
Mm-hmm.
in Beyond the Blacktop.
Yeah. And
So it was
and it
great.
almost felt like, because I feel like at that point that was the best Newcastle had been playing all season. I
Oh, for
think,
sure, they were
and
up for it.
I think they're also trying to send a message to Isak that, look, we don't need you. We can do this without you. So they was trying to make a statement to the team that he wanted to go to and be like, look, we're better
Yeah,
than them. If you want to go there, that's on you, but we gonna beat their ass anyway. And they
yeah,
almost
yeah.
did. They almost pulled it through. My
They
dude with
almost did.
the French tips, he was going crazy. He was everywhere, drawing fouls, aggressive in the box. I don't know his name, but shout out to you.
With the French tips, you mean like
He was
the
the
silver
captain.
hair on top,
He was the captain.
Jolington, or you're talking about
He was
he's a
definitely the
great
captain.
Bruno Guimaraes.
Yeah, him.
Yeah,
Shout out to him.
fantastic
He
midfielder.
was playing with all the energy in the world.
Hmm.
Shout out to
And
that
that's what's great. Yeah,
kid.
and just
Yeah.
a quick note on Newcastle. They are an exciting team. I'm sorry, Cody, for convincing you to be their fan, but they are an electric team. They have a very strong midfield. They're getting better defensively. Isak was the crowning jewel. Unfortunately, he's gone. But we saw what they could potentially be
Mm-hmm.
this past weekend when their new striker Voltamata came up with a great header and won that. I don't know if it's their first game, but
I think it
it
might have
feels
been.
like it was their first game.
I think it might have been.
Yes, it was their first win.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was their first win. So
I wonder what that feels
who
like.
knows? Yeah, we're gonna get there, my friend. We're gonna get there.
We'll get there. All right.
But
Oh, you want to keep
just
going?
real quick,
Okay.
yeah, just real quick with Liverpool. They have been. They're looking like champions. Like they might do it again potentially, because before we started recording, they just had this ability to score in the very last minute. They've done it literally in every single game at this point.
Find a
Within the
way.
last in stoppage time. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. You know, on one hand, because I'm I'm a little biased with Man City. I don't want to see them succeed, but it's also impressive when you do see them succeed because
They
are
play
they
so
creating
well.
enough chances? Yeah, but even Florian Wirtz, who they spent like over $100 million, he hasn't done anything yet. So creatively, are they there? I don't know. Defensively, are they shaky because they're giving up leads?
Mm-hmm.
But then they have that extra juice at the very end to just get them over the line and get that. So that's all I got to say about Liverpool.
They're kind of like,
It,
to put it in comparison to those who may not be too know a lot about soccer. They're kind
okay,
of like
fair.
the Chiefs, the Kansas City
Oh,
Chiefs, who somehow are able to pull a win out of their ass at the end of the game.
mm,
Like 3 years ago, I think it's been when they played the Bills in like the AFC Championship, and they scored a touchdown in like 13 seconds,
yeah.
and you're just like, oh, 2 plays, and you're just like, how?
Mm.
How did they just go 70 yards in like 7 seconds?
Mahomes got that juice.
They had the juice, man. They find a way to win every
Yeah,
single time. And that's exactly how Liverpool has been playing this season.
yeah.
And it's
I mean, listen,
just like the Chiefs, it's very annoying. But it's very impressive at the same time if you're objective about it.
it is, and it's a sign of a champion. They did it last year. I mean, they kind of ran away with it. Um, can they do it again? I don't know. There's some contenders. There's some. I think this is going to be a good title race this year.
Oh, it's gonna be
I hope so.
fun to watch for sure. But before we go into our Champions League talk, we can't leave the Premier League section without talking about Arsenal, who have also been looking pretty good. I think what game did I
100%.
watch? They might have been playing Chelsea. I'm not too sure. Did they even play Chelsea yet? I don't know who it was. Here, let me look at the schedule.
Might have been United. They
Which
had a big game against United, I think, in the second week, and
had like
they
3 or 4 goals. No, it was Leeds United. It was Leeds United. Yeah,
against. Oh yeah, they
I
went
watched
insane.
that game,
Yeah.
and I just felt bad
Oh yeah.
for
Yeah.
United. I was like, oh, for Leeds. I was like, they scored 3 in like the first half. I was like, ooh. Came out and scored 2 more. I was like, how is Leeds even they weren't here? They weren't in the Premier League last year, were they? Or were they?
No, they're one of the promoted sides.
Yeah, and I
So
was
I
just
mean,
like, that's a
to
rough
get an
one.
ass whooping like that, it's to be expected, but it was comprehensive.
Yeah.
It was rough to watch past a certain point. And I like seeing blowouts sometimes. I'm one of those people where I like to see an even game, but if there's a team playing well and they just want to keep scoring, I'm here for it. I want to see beautiful goals. That's what I'm here for.
I agree. Because
And
that one by Saka was pretty nice.
dude, and I don't know if it was that game or if it was the next game against Liverpool, which they lost unfortunately. That he went out injured.
Yeah,
So
it was. I
they
think it
were
was
kind of.
Liverpool.
Was it Liverpool?
I think
Okay,
so.
so they were kind of scrambling after that because he's kind of their golden boy, over on the right wing.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, like many other teams this year, strengthened a lot, and they got some incredible attacking talent to kind of deal with some of these injuries that have stopped them from being true title contenders in the past. Well, they were contenders, but they weren't able to get across the. They brought in Eze from Crystal Palace, who looks phenomenal. Nani Madueke, who came from Chelsea, has a new lease on life. He's
Mm-hmm.
looking great. He looked great in the next game against Nottingham Forest. Fantastic. I mean, just cutting in and out, overlapping, cutting inside, and just great, crisp passing to their new goal scorer Gyökeres. So I feel like if we're talking about a title race, I think it's really Liverpool and Arsenal. Arsenal are showing that they have the medal, that maybe now they can maybe get across the line. I'm not sure. If Liverpool can keep coming up with these last minute winners, then great. But otherwise, I think Arsenal are definitely poised to be the next one up
Oh, they'll be there
if
at the
it's
end
not Liverpool.
for sure.
100%.
I
I
think
think so. I don't think they're gonna fade away like they have in past
in
years.
that he was a tall white dude. He had kind of long hair. I think it was
With long
Zubamendi.
hair, Zubamendi,
Zubamendi.
yeah,
He's good. He was really good.
he's really really good. In fact, in the Nottingham Forest game, dude, he came up with 2 goals.
Mm-hmm.
He's a defensive midfielder. So, for example, for your team, I guess he would be similar to Tielemans. For me, it would be like Rodri, or maybe McGinn for you. But either way, he's they typically don't score goals. They're more defensive minded.
Yeah.
But he came up with. I implore you to go back and look at the highlight of his first goal, especially against Nottingham Forest. A corner comes in, somebody gets a head onto it, and it bounces back to him. And before it hits the ground, he slaps that thing, and it goes flying into the corner of the net. I mean, he's looking furious, and they just have at least 2 to 3 players in every position. So if injuries start racking up, I think they might be able to keep the level.
Good. I love that for them, man. I love teams who are able to break the curses, man. Because
Yeah, absolutely. They haven't won a league in I think like 20 years. So
yep.
I mean, now might be the time.
Hey, I'm rooting for them, but not at the same time because I need to
Yeah,
ask them
yeah.
to improve. But moving on to our champions topic, finally. There's been 2 days worth of games. There's been a bunch of interesting games, but I think the one that we should talk about is Real Madrid versus Marseille. Now, I'm not going to say Real Madrid didn't deserve to win, but I am going to say they didn't play like they should have won.
Yeah.
Now, Marseille, when they were playing, they were not great defensively. They were really open. Real was able to really make the runs at the goal. They had shots on goal, but Marseille's keeper was doing a very good job of keeping them out of it. But those two, first off, I don't know what was up with. He came in for Trent.
Oh yeah, he got injured. I
He
believe
got injured today. I think he hurt his quad.
Oof.
And then the guy who he subbed for him got a red card.
Yeah, Carvajal.
Carvajal got a red card because he's a lunatic and headbutted the keeper. Now the keeper, he did flop.
Did he have it coming?
I don't know. I didn't see it all. I was watching highlights and commentary, and he again hit him with one of those like they was in his face, and he hit him with, and then that missed it and fell to the ground. I was like, oh come on. I know
He's not even that tall to be headbutting people.
Exactly. I was like, I know it was a headbutt, but that was a flop and a half, man. Like, come on, what are we doing? But I'll give that first penalty. Okay. So that first penalty, I'll give them that. He was in the box. He was trying. It didn't look like he was about to kick it or trying to score. He might have been able to pass it in the box a little bit more, but that dude did take out his legs in the box. Can't do that, so I'll give that.
Yeah.
But the second one,
that
I don't know what the ref was looking at when they went to the VAR, if they even did.
They did.
The guy was about to shoot it, or it looked like he was about to do it, and the defender went to ground because he couldn't get to it. He went to ground. He slid. And the ball just happened to bounce off of him and bounce off of his arm as he was sliding down or dropping to the ground. It was definitely not intentional. There's no way in hell that was intentional.
If you're already on the ground, what are you supposed to do in that situation? I mean, I can understand if you're looking like the crosswalk man and your hands are up in unnatural positions. Okay, yeah, sure. Give it a handball. But In reality, if you're on the floor and you're sliding and the ball hits your hand, how is that your fault?
It's not.
I think that was a little harsh.
It
I
was
think that
that.
was a little harsh.
That was the game-winning penalty right there. That's
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
you might as
Yeah.
well give him the game, bro.
They got two of them, and Mbappe scores both of them. Who,
Yes,
by the way, is looking good. I mean, I haven't been able to keep up as much with La Liga this season. However, I believe they're top of the league.
and he's looking real good.
They're looking like they could find their way back after kind of getting embarrassed by Barcelona last
Yep.
repeatedly.
If
So we'll see.
Vinny can learn how to be a team player again, maybe they'll figure something out. But he's been coming off the bench a lot. I think he's been coming
Yeah,
off the bench this whole season. And they've
I,
had
it,
Rodrigo.
definitely in this game. Yeah.
Rodrigo's been playing on the left side with Mbappe
Mhm.
at striker. And they've been doing good. So, I mean, it seems like Vinny needs to get with the program a little bit and play with some more confidence.
Yeah, and not just that, it's really those two that have been butting heads. It's been Vinny and Mbappe, both wanting to play on the left hand side, not knowing how to share the field with each other, basically, because they both want to take up the same positions. Rodrigo having played on the right for a couple years now because Vinny has been so, transcendent.
Mm-hmm.
Um, may be a better teammate towards Mbappe, where he's willing to flip back and forth. So we'll see.
But that was. I just felt bad for Marseille. And my boy, Timothy Weah, had a nice goal as well.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't even know that he had gone to Marseille.
Yep.
He used to be with Juventus.
His
He
dad
looked
also
great.
played for Marseille as well, so that's
Yes,
cool.
yes.
I don't remember what this was a funny thing on. It was CBS Champions League talk show with Jamie Carragher and Thierry Henry and
The best.
Michael Richards and I forgot the lady's name, Kate
Kate Abdo.
Abdo. Even though I don't think that's her last name anymore, but
No, she got married.
yeah, but a Jamie Carragher said that Timothy Weah was the first American to score a goal for Marseille in the Champions League or something like that.
Really? Okay.
Something to that effect. It might not have been Champions League. It might have been a different word there. But I thought that was pretty cool because,
That is.
Americans have never been, except for maybe Clint Dempsey is really the only one I can think of who's been very successful overseas in soccer. So
Well, we got a couple now in this generation.
now,
There's a couple. There's a couple. But yeah, overseas it was really mostly Clinton Dempsey,
and Tim Howard.
And Tim Howard was great as well.
Tim
Also a
Howard.
great commentator.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it was nice seeing one of the Americans doing good for once
100%.
on the Champions League.
100%.
Whatever. But and then so I don't know if you know this, and I've just learned it today, but Juve played Borussia Dortmund, and that was a wild game. At first half boring as shit.
4-4.
End the first half 0-0, boring as shit. Ain't nothing happening. They come out and score like 4 goals back to back to back.
Nuts. And some of the goals, the quality was exceptional. That guy yielded. I think he's a Turkish international for Juventus. Dude, some of the goals that he was scoring, there's one where like wraps it from outside the box and it goes perfectly into the top corner. It was a spectacle that game. And the fact that it all happened in the second half, I mean, it was fireworks. It was fireworks.
But what I learned, right? Borussia Dortmund goes up 4-2, and they let go 2 goals in the last like 5 minutes of the game. And so I'm like listening to the commentators, I'm listening to the podcast, and they're like, man, Borussia Dortmund pulled the Borussia Dortmund. And I was like, the hell does that mean? And then the guy goes on to say, he's like, bro, the first game of the season in the Bundesliga, same damn thing happened. They had up 2 goals, up to 2-0 with in the 85th minute, 5 minutes to go, let up 2 goals. And I'm just like, damn, it's not just the Bears. Sorry, I had to. They
have the reverse Liverpool going on. Yeah.
With it. And I'm just like, damn, that's gotta suck, dude. Borussia Dortmund is Borussia Dortmund. It implies that this has happened multiple times before. And I'm just like, it's gotta be rough in soccer too. giving up 2 goals in that small amount of time, and then on the Champions League level is even worse. So I'm just like,
And
that was crazy.
historically they've always been the the little brother to Bayern, basically, where Bayern steals their players and they, they constantly beat them out to the league and the cups over in Germany. So yeah, that I got to feel for them. And just going forward, I think Dortmund could be a potential exciting team to watch because they have Joe Bellingham, who is Jude Bellingham's little brother, and he just came from Sunderland there and actually has been looking really, really good over and playing in the same position as his brother as well. So
Oh
definitely a team to
yeah,
watch.
that's right. They look exactly
Hmm.
the same.
They do. They kind of do.
And
They
their
kind of do.
names are pretty damn close to being the same too. Was what's
Job and Jude.
Job and Jude? Come on, what are we doing? They look exactly the same. They got the same damn name pretty much. And don't they wear the same number when they were on that? Wasn't Jude Bellingham also number 7 on BVB?
No, no, no. It was like I think it was 22 or 24,
Okay.
basically where there was this whole thing where he was saying that he was good as a 10, as a 6, and as an 8. That's 24. Yeah, that is
Okay.
24. So basically saying, oh, I can play every position in the midfield, so I'm going to wear 24. But I mean, he before Jude went to Madrid, he was at Dortmund. So it seems like he's following in his footsteps.
One
We'll
of my
we'll
favorite
see. I
players.
mean,
I love his pose. That's the That's my thing. That's my shit right there.
yeah.
I had that as a
I mean,
background on my phone for a while.
he's him. He's him, and especially in his debut, he was fantastic. But right now, I think Real Madrid probably have some things to figure out to get the most out of him again. But yeah, um, any other games in the Champions League you want to cover? Because there was also that pretty big clash with Bayern Munich and Chelsea,
I
and the Arsenal game as well.
Did you watch those? Because I didn't really pay attention to those. So give me and enlighten me on how those went.
I watched the Bayern versus Chelsea game. Um, so I want to be cognizant of the fact that Chelsea are back in the Champions League first time in a while.
Mm-hmm.
They've been out for a while. However, they did just win, the Club World Cup over the summer, and they looked fantastic. They beat the the
Previous
current
Champions League.
the current champs of the Champions League, PSG. Um, but then they just did not look as brilliant as they did on that day. Coming up against Bayern with Kane leading the line. Um, it I I'm worried to uh, I'm worried and I'm not worried with Chelsea because I think that there is a good team there. I'm worried that they don't have the depth to balance both being competitive in the league and really making their mark on the Champions League. We're gonna have to see. We have to see what the rest of their schedule looks like because it could be that Bayern are the toughest team that they're gonna face in this group phase. Let me see real quick where exactly they're gonna go from here.
Because wait, Aston Villa will probably never make it back to the Champions League. Nah, I'm
Never
impressed.
seen. Don't say that. Don't put yourself down like that
I'm not. I'm
because the
hoping for the
reality is,
best.
yeah. Because I mean, I think you guys could be going through something similar to what Newcastle went two years ago. Newcastle went to the Champions League for the first time in a long. They had a couple of really great nights, but then because they had to focus on that competition, they suffered in the league, didn't qualify for it, and then look, this year they qualified for it again. So
Hey, anything is possible.
give yourself some time. But let's see, they're gonna play Benfica, they're gonna play Ajax. They have a couple more games that I don't think are going to be quite. They're playing Korabag, who I think is the team from Azerbaijan. Oh, and then towards the end they're going to play Barcelona. So and then Atlanta. That might finish off the group. So it's going to be a mixed bag, but I think there's definitely plenty of teams in that group right there that they can definitely win and maybe qualify for the knockouts. Bayern looked great. Um, Kane, I think, got a brace, and who got the other goal?
Oh, who was
Uh,
that? I don't know.
I'll tell you right now.
Chelsea. Picture.
Oh, it was an own goal from Chalaba to start it
Oh,
off.
oh,
An
that.
own goal off of a defender who, again, and that's a testament to where Chelsea are at, because I don't even think he's their top center back. They have multiple center backs out um for extended periods of time. So do they have the depth to go further? I don't know. We're gonna have to see.
Yep, we will definitely see. All right, guys, we are running out a little long on time here, so we're gonna wrap this
Okay.
up as beautifully as we can. All right, quickly,
hmm
Julius, what are your matches of the week if it were for the Premier League?
Upcoming. Okay.
Upcoming. Yep,
Let me
upcoming.
let's see what the schedule looks like, because there has to be some fireworks. So first off, starting off Saturday, it's Liverpool versus Everton. That's a Merseyside derby. It's a very historic rivalry in soccer. Everton may not be, on top, and Liverpool are looking unstoppable. But like in most derbies, sometimes the weaker team can put their best foot forward. So I think that would be a good game to watch. United versus Chelsea. Will the train wreck continue for United, or
Will they
will
bounce back?
Chelsea? Yeah, who knows? It's possible. Amarin, their coach, is probably under threat. He, let's see if he can make it a couple more weekends, because he may not. And then Aston Villa versus Sunderland. Can you guys get your win on Sunday at 9
Freaking hope so,
my
man.
time? And then to end the weekend, another man. I feel like I'm
Oh, you're gonna be on
bad.
your feet,
Yeah.
pacing, watching this
I,
one, man.
listen, pacing up and down, and I'm gonna be having a shout. Arsenal versus Man City at 11:30 Eastern time, and that could be very telling, because we could get walloped like we did the last time that we played them.
Mhm.
We got, I think, humbled, truly humbled, 5-1 last year. But they still haven't gone across the line like we have.
Anything is
And
possible.
are we on the come up? I think a lot will depend on how we do tomorrow in the Champions League against Napoli. If we're able to put in a good show there, get a win, and maybe continue to shed off, some of the rest, and really get back to our winning ways, we might just put up a show against Arsenal.
All
I don't
right.
know.
Hey.
I don't want to get too
Well, I will
hopeful,
not
but
be rooting for y'all. So, hey, anything is possible.
I hope
So,
Sunderland beats you.
oh wow, that's a little hurtful, a bit.
Oh,
We haven't won anything, man. Whatever. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been the inaugural episode of the Tap In. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I don't know why you haven't. We're awesome, and y'all are awesome as well. So go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, man. And we will see
we're gonna
y'all
be here.
next week. Peace out.
Peace out.